Eli, what's
My
happening, bro?
guy.
How you
What up,
doing, son?
Frank?
How you think, man? Thank you for doing. You know, the last time I interviewed you was 2010. I didn't realize that much time went by.
It's
Yeah,
been that long.
yeah, man. And the funny thing is, at the time when I interviewed you, if you remember, you was doing something for TV One. You know, it was a TV One thing. I think it was the thing that Rodney Perry was hosting, or something along the lines of
Who's
that.
got jokes?
Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah,
Who's got jokes? Wow.
yeah.
That's been a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
looked
a
it up,
minute.
man. I got a lot to talk to you about, man, but I'm trying not to hold you more than 15 minutes because I know how it is. I know how things it is. Before I even dive into your tour and everything else, man, you have got to tell me how you came on board, how you created this Hey Lisa thing, because I follow it. I know a lot of people, follow it. How did that come about? Or did you just do it one time and then you realize it took off and go from there?
No, I'm always asking her questions, so I'm always calling her name. And she does not like to be on camera. She is very camera shy. She prefers to be behind the scenes. And I would always call her name. And hey, come look at this. Hey, is this girl ass real? Is this?
Hmm.
And she would be like, yeah, no, or and then finally she was like, hey, listen, make sure, don't call me in there while you're on camera. So I happened to be on camera one day, and I was like, hey, Lisa, and I just posted the video,
Uh-huh.
and the comments went crazy, like Lisa, who is Lisa, who's Lisa? So I was like, let me be a little more intentional about it. So I did it again,
Hmm.
and it just stuck. It just stuck, and I have annoyingly made her famous just by calling her name.
The funny thing is, I'm sure she likes it in one sense, but I'm sure she can't stand it in the other sense. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yes,
yeah,
double-edged sword.
yeah, yeah. All right, so let me dive into this, man. Couple of questions. I know you're on tour right now. I know you're
Yes,
doing that, but you are one of the only I mean, I did some research on some when I was going to interview you before. You're one. I don't even know if you know this, but you're one of the only comics who have been got really famous online and social media, and you also carved out your own niche on stand up. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of comics who are really good at both, and you know this. There's a lot of
right.
comics who are great at doing social media stuff, but they're horrible on stage. You are one of the only few. So my question to you is, how do you find the balance of being able to do both?
It's a science. Both of them are a science, and I respect both of them. I
Hmm.
consider myself a hybrid when it comes to stand-up comedy and being proficient on social media. I'm a hybrid. But I had to learn it. I had to learn what I thought could cultivate an audience.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody has their own lane that you carve out, and I've come up with just different sayings that have evolved over time. From "come get this nigga" to Lisa to "I'm glad you asked" to "take it in."
Hmm.
It's been so many different, and I just continue to just create. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And once you realize how important social media is and how it can be to your business, you start to be a little bit more serious and a little bit more dedicated and a little bit more consistent about it, because it's really all about consistency. You have to be consistent in order to thrive on as a social media influencer.
Right.
But stand up, it's always my number one love. And I just made sure that I had to learn social media like I learned stand up. And a lot of
Right.
people, the audiences sometimes can get confused thinking that just because the person has a big following, then that this means that they're funny. They may be
Right.
funny for why you're following them. They may be funny for this particular genre of social media and what you're following them. But stand up is its own craft in itself, and it cannot be cheated. It can't be skipped. No steps can be skipped. You're gonna make sure you hit every last step in order
Right.
to be
Right.
a real proficient stand-up comedian.
So how are you feeling about right now comics that use crowd? What do they call it? The crowd.
Crowd work.
Crowd. How you feel about that? The comics are doing that. That aren't that. Let's be honest. There's some comics right now who use crowd work and got crowd work to get their numbers, ridiculous like now.
Mhm.
But then you go see their set and the set isn't the same. How you feel about that?
I don't. I see a lot of people dropping, clips,
Hmm.
and I don't. To be fair to them, I don't know what their set looks like.
Right.
But I think it's room for it. It's room for crowd work.
Hmm.
But you still need a set. You got to
Right.
have a set. You know
Right.
what I mean? There's comedians that are dope enough. They can go out and they can just, they can improv the whole set. Um, but it has to make sense. you know, what you're doing with the crowd work. It can't just be stale crowd work. It has
Right.
to all flow.
Right.
You know what I mean? You watch Nate Jackson special. Nate Jackson, his shit flows. It just, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. Nate's a
Yeah,
beast.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean. That
Yeah.
that that's an art. You know what I mean.
Right.
To be able
Right.
to come out and to stick it like that, that's an art. But you know,
Right.
so, you know, everybody thinks that they can do it, but it's an art to doing that as well. You know what I
Right.
mean? You just standing on stage, just you know, just saying just different things to the audience, and it doesn't tie together. That's not really dope crowd work to me.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? But when you
Right.
can tie the pieces in together and weave it and bring things here and make it a beginning, a middle, and the end, and call back things, that right there, that's fire. That's fire crowd work.
So talk to us about your new comedy tour, comedy special, all the stuff that's going on in your world right now.
Yeah, man, Frank, I'm busy. I'm in San Diego
Mm-hmm.
right now. Played the Mic Drop Comedy Club tomorrow night. I got I'm sorry, Thursday night I got Sacramento the Laughs Unlimited. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been hitting it. I've been hitting these stages. We just sold out Atlanta City
Mm-hmm.
Winery
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night. So I mean, this Wait a Minute comedy tour is something that you know my fans have been asking me for. They've been wanting to see me. I've cultivated this new audience, and it's so crazy, man. Frank, it's crazy how people they perceive you how you
Right.
feed content to them
Right.
because I have people still right now that come on in my inbox like, "Hey man, you should be doing stand up." I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody told you this, but man, you should be doing stand. And I'm like, yeah, man. Everybody tell me I should be doing stand up. That's crazy. It's crazy you would even say something like that. But I get it because if you give them a steady diet of
Right.
reaction videos, and they may miss some of your stand up clips they don't know. You know what I mean? But the people that follow me that know, they know.
Right.
And my new audience, the new fans will find it out. You know what
Right.
I mean? I did a show the other night, the mic drop. I'm like, hey, how many of y'all is your first time seeing me? Everybody like, I'm like, wow.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's a new audience, and I'm getting my audience to get familiar with my brand of comedy, in my social media. You know what I mean? And see how it weaves together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Are you frustrated with Hollywood too, though, bro? Because let's be honest, let's be candid here, or let's be frank, no pun
Mhm.
intended.
Right?
Bro, you should have been on TV shows. You should have been in a lot more films. I'm sure you've auditioned for a lot of things that you didn't get. I mean, are you frustrated with Hollywood, with how it is with you and your career?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not. I'm not frustrated at all because I let go of that what I
Ah.
thought Hollywood was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I put my career in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing things that I want to do. I want to go on tour. I start a tour on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I go play this city. I go play that city. You
Right.
know what I mean? And now I've got TV and film projects that I've written out. Me and my
Mm-hmm.
writing partner and my business partner Angela Artist. So you know we putting up our own money
That's the
and
way. That's the way.
I'm
Yeah.
shooting. I'm shooting stuff that I thought was always funny. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I can write, I can direct, I can produce, I can do stand up. Why do I wait for somebody to give me something if I can do all these different things? And
Right.
that's a lot of things that I think that stifles comedians a lot of times because we look to the left and we see, you know, some of our constituents that are doing well, and we say, "Man, I'm good enough to be in this." Well, if you're good enough and that put the effort in,
Right. Right.
if
Yeah.
you're good enough, put the effort in, and then what happens is eventually Hollywood jumps on board anyway.
Right. They do. They do.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I don't have any frustration with anybody, with any entity, with Hollywood. Um, I just know that when I watch certain things, I'm like, I know I got a spot to do what
Mm.
I do, and plus everything I'm doing is direct to consume anyway. I can do something to give it right to my audience.
Right, right. Well, let me ask you about, obviously there's a lot of drama and comedy and everything else. How do you steer away from drama? Because I mean, you saw what happened with Reggie recently. You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah,
some stuff that dived in with Reggie. I'm not going to go into all that right now because I don't do mesh. You know that I don't do that.
right.
But what I do want to know is how do you steer? because how do you steer your way? Because people, comics get jealous, bro. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
it's a man, it's a tricky situation. It's sticky all the way around. How do you, who create your own thing, you create your own lane, you're creating your own TV shows, your own stand-up specials, you're bringing attention to yourself instead of trying to go out to seek it versus other people out there seeking it. How do you navigate in the industry and stay away from all that extra drama? How you do it?
Man, my foundation,
Mm-hmm.
how I was raised, you know what I mean? The way my
Yeah.
grandmother taught me how to conduct myself and, how to present myself with character.
Right.
And I stay in my bubble. I stay in my circle, man. You don't see me all, at a lot of different places. And I think, as my star rises, I shrink more into that bubble because I feel more protected because, it's everybody's gonna want something. Somebody's gonna have something negative to say, and I just put my blinders on, man, and I just
Yeah.
get the work, and I get the work, and I enjoy what I do, and
Right.
I only work with people that I feel comfortable with. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? I'm not working with somebody that I'm gonna be around for 9, 10 hours and I'm uncomfortable with again. And now, why can I do that? Because I'm creating my own stuff.
Right. Right. Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
I keep, I got my comedy buddies and that I rock with, and we check on each other, and we make sure everybody's good mentally. I stay in that pack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm cool with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't. When I hear the chatter
Yeah.
and the noise, I don't, because I don't they don't that has nothing to do with my journey.
Right.
That
Right.
chatter right there is going to add nothing to my day. That chatter that's going on, that gossip that's going on, that hate that's going on, it ain't gonna do nothing to my career. That's going to advance it. So why should I even turn my head off the path of what I'm doing?
But you know people do that though, right? To advance their
Yeah.
career. You know they do that. You help their
Yeah, they do it,
numbers. Yeah.
and I mean, I've always prided myself on people follow me, people buy tickets to see me because they know my brand is funny, it is
Yes.
good time, it
Yeah.
is good energy, it is high energy, it is storytelling. All the drama, I don't want you to even follow me for that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Get
Right.
all that housewife shit out of here for me. I want to I want to focus on doing funny stuff like I've been doing, like people have been knowing me and following me for 20 something years now. I want you to follow me for that. And
Right.
all that other stuff, because it ain't it's too fun to do it this way.
Right. Right. Right.
It's
Right.
fun. I don't even want to go that route. It's fun, man, to just have good relationships with people. Whenever, hey, Frank, I can call you. Hey, Frank. Hey, man, let's do an interview next week. We ain't got no beef.
Right. Right.
We don't have any. And for what?
You're right.
We're not
Right.
even around each other that much to be hating on each other.
Right. Right. And that's what people do though. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And if I see you doing well in my head, God damn, man, I remember when Frank was, man, look at Frank now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not the opposite. Again, that don't serve my spirit well to hate on you.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
So that's what makes it comfortable for me and me just to be in my lane and not deal with any drama.
Okay, so last question, man, because I know you get very busy, man, and I'm looking at the time. I promised I wouldn't keep you longer than this time, but last question, I swear to you. My question to you is, bro, what is your dream project? Because you've checked off all the boxes. When you sat down, you started your journey. You said, I know you had the boxes that you wanted to check off, saying, I do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. What's your next dream project that you got to check off, bro?
Okay, dream project. Okay, it's two parts. Okay,
Okay.
one comedically, I would love to do an international tour.
Mm-hmm.
An international tour and then sell out Madison Square Garden. You got to speak stuff into existence.
That's
People
right.
may listen to this and be like, he talking about selling out the garden. He just doing, this thing can sell out one night in Atlanta and he think he can sell out the garden.
Right.
Yes, I do. Because I remember that time when I didn't think I can sell out a night in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you got to combine these efforts. You got to have that vision, and you got to line it up with some effort. You got to line it up with some execution.
Right.
So
Right.
a international tour, like all UK. I'm talking about Japan. I'm talking about Austria. Everywhere. I'm talking about going a full world tour. And the dream film project would be a new generation like Harlem Nights.
Uh-huh. That's
A
dope.
new generation like Harlem Nights, which would include
Everybody.
The
Yeah.
social media influencers. It would be all the comedic guys that you've always known. I mean, just a big, a plethora of comedic talent with a dope script,
Mm-hmm.
with a really dope script. I mean, something that, because like our comedy, the comedy community is starting for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
They are.
It is.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the trailer for that? People
Yeah.
are going nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
trailer for that Harlem Nights like theme movie
Yeah. Yeah.
with that
Everybody.
cast.
Yeah. Everybody dressed nice too. All that. Yeah. And the clips of that. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. But you know what, D? You could make it possible. You know what I mean? Like you could make that possible, and I can
I
definitely see
believe
that.
that.
I definitely see that in your future, man. Especially if you're going to stop putting out content on your own, which you're doing, and putting out films on your own, which you're doing. You already have the right mindset. Hollywood's going to come calling you instead of you going trying to seek to them, man.
Absolutely.
But thank you for taking out the time, bro. I appreciate you. Good luck on your tour, man. You
Thank you,
know,
Frank. I appreciate you.